Maia Poet on 26-vuotias amerikkalais-israelilainen puhuja, kirjoittaja ja valmentaja. Hän alkoi tuntea teini-ikäisenä vetoa muihin tyttöihin ja hän ajatteli, että hän on poika. Hän muutti pukeutumistaan ja hiustyyliään, mutta hänen vanhempansa ei ollut kauhean innoissaan, että hän halusi olla poika. Ja kun hän oli vähän vanhempi, parikymppinen, vanhemmat toivoivat, että hän viettäisi aikaa ulkomailla. Ja Maia valitsi maaksi Israelin, jossa hän huomasi, että hän meni ihan täydestä poikana palestiinalaiselle. Ja hän itse asiassa hengasi sekä palestiinalaisten että ortodoksijuutalaisten kanssa. Ja eli miehen roolissa siellä. Ja sitten tapahtui käännekohta vuonna 2021. Hän oli Tel Avivissa ja Hamas teki sinne rakettiiskuja. Ja tämmöinen niin kuin sotatilanne sai hänet havahtumaan, että tärkeintä on, että hänellä on toimiva keho ja tämmöinen sukupuolidysforia alkoi tuntua tämmöiset ylellisyydeltä, eikä ollenkaan niin tärkeältä. Ja sitten toinen käännekohta tapahtui silloin 7. lokakuuta 2023. Ja hän itse asiassa pettyi hänen vasemmistolaisiin amerikkalaisina ystäviinsä, jotka juhli somessa Hamasin iskua eikä kysynyt, että onko heidän ystävän Maija ylipäänsä hengissä. Ja sitten hän alkoi löytää netistä sukupuolikriittistä sisältöä ja alkoi miettiä omaa identiteettiään ja uskomuksiaan. Ja hän törmäsi Leslie Feinbergin kirjaan Stone Butch Blues. Ja se avasi uuden näkökulman, että hän mietti, että ehkä hän ei ollutkaan mies, joka on syntynyt naisen kehoon, vaan maskuliininen lesbo. Että hänellä ei ollut aikaisemmin ollut esikuvia. Hän palasi Yhdysvaltoihin ja alkoi purkaa tätä transidentiteettiään, että hän ei ollut missään vaiheessa ehtinyt aloittaa mitään lääketieteellisiä hoitoja. Että hän oli käyttänyt tämmöistä binderiä, joka latistaa rinnat ja se vaikutti silleen, että hänen piti opetella uusi hengitystekniikka, koska sen binderin kanssa ei oikein voinut hengittää syvään. Mä tapasin Maia Poetin Genspect-seminaarissa USAssa syyskuun lopulla. Maia tietysti puhuu amerikkalaisten näkökulmasta. Esimerkiksi kun hän mainitsee, että kaikki ovat sinua vastaan. Eli Amerikassa on paljon osavaltioita, missä on tätä myötäilevää hoitoa. Eli ei ole niin kriittinen suhtautuminen alaikäisten hoitoja kohtaan kuin täällä Suomessa. Huomaa muuten Maijan pinssi. Nykyään myydään sellaisia sateenkaarilippuja, joista on poistettu se progressiivinen osio. Eli siinä on se kolmion kohdalla reikä. Eli ihmiset, jotka on esimerkiksi homoja tai lesboja, mutta ei kannata tätä transideologiaa, niin he saattaa kantaa tällaista pinssiä.
Maia Poet, you used to be into this gender ideology, but then you stepped back and now you help other people. What would you say to people who think that transitioning is their only option, that they really need to get it?
Well, I would say that if there was anyone who is true trans, it would have been me. I was not affirmed by basically anyone in my life. I persisted in my transgender identity for 12 years, which by the point at which I exited my transgender identity, it was half of my life. So I was in this for basically half of my life. I was, insistent, consistent, persistent. I knew this is what I wanted to do. And yet, for me, living through a couple wars, like in terror attacks in the Middle East, made me realize just how impractical it is to be planning the rest of your life upon the basis of being able to access a pharmacy. I mean, I just think that it's very easy for people of my generation to believe in quick fixes because we've basically had our dopamine systems hijacked by just growing up chronically online. And I think that, the truth is that a lot of these issues that we as Gen Zers especially experience with being disembodied is directly a result of our environment, of being online and growing up on millions of different psych meds, it seems, collectively. And additionally, there's absolutely no evidence-based underpinning for gender medicine. It's a field that in the last 100 years has only become more experimental with time, not less. They tried experiments on adults. The adults were not happier. the clinicians determined it was because the adults who were men could not pass as women. And then they decided to move to transitioning children. And now these gender doctors are not even trying to replicate sex traits that you'd find in nature. They're making phallus-preserving vaginoplasties and nullification surgeries so that your genital area looks like you're a Barbie. So this entire industry is fraudulent. They're preying upon you. They're preying upon your distress. I thought that there'd be no way that I could be ever comfortable living as a woman. I thought that for a very long time, for about half of my life. And I realized simply when I realized that my only choice would be to live as a woman. But the choice would be, well, do I live as a woman with as healthy and intact of a body as I possibly can, who doesn't have to fight against reality and fight against, neuroticism, constant neuroticism of, do people perceive me as a man or a woman, and do I pass? I could be, that type of, I could be that type of a woman, or I could be a healthy woman, mentally and physically, because the truth is that it's impossible to change sex. It's dangerous to even try, and I mean, if you do end up going this route, just understand what you're getting yourself into. Because it's not going to change your sex. It comes with a bunch of risks. Some are known, most are unknown, and your doctors are almost certainly not going to be there for you when you realize that that you've been sold a lie. So my biggest advice would obviously be, don't do it. It's just damaging, and any placebo effect is likely to wear off in a few years. A little bit after your prefrontal cortex fully matures. So just don't do it. Honestly, I mean, I just don't see any real. The upsides are right. You get the changes you want, but the downsides are that you could be giving yourself a bunch of different disorders, including an endocrine disorder. And if you ever decide oh wait, I don't like the aesthetic changes anymore, well, you could be then stuck with an endocrine disorder as a result of those things. So it's not just about aesthetics. It's about function. Your body is an entire system where all, your body has all these interconnected systems, and if one of them is damaged, other ones are going to be experiencing damage. So though you may, think that the resolution to your sex-based distress is going to be, it's going to lie at the other side of an operating table with a scalpel, or a gender clinic, or by buying a breast binder online, or by changing your name and pronouns, the truth is that you'll never be happy in yourself long-term by trying to change who you are. And transition is fundamentally changing everything about yourself except for your brain. So it's not sustainable. And I would just say don't do it.
What about parents? What would you say to parents whose children are caught up into this?
Well, I have a whole Substack in which I, aimed at parents, where I discuss different changes in parenting, and I actually coach parents and consult with parents, and I help parents navigate their kids out of this stuff. And if I thought there were a simple answer, I would give it to you. But the truth is that basically what parents need to know is that everything is against you. Every institution is conspiring against the best interests of your child. So as soon as your kid declares a trans identity, honestly, you are probably going to want to come up with a really good strategy for how to handle it. You could be in this with your kids for 12 years, like I was with my parents. And the most important thing is to treat your kid with compassion, to listen to them, but not to affirm lies as truths. And if you have a kid who is on the autism spectrum or has ADHD, or you suspect that your kid is on the autism spectrum or has ADHD, or just if you're interested in kind of my take as someone who navigated these issues within my own family dynamics for 12 years, here's a QR code for my Substack. I don't know if this will pick up the QR code, but yeah, I'm Maia Poet on Substack. I write extensive essays aimed specifically at parents and clinicians for, with insight into at least my take on what I think parents should understand about the nature of the complex process their kid is going through when they start engaging in gender questioning. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.